Welcome to the second official podcast of Dys Dyvas, where two friends with dysautonomia decided to ditch their salt and vinegar chips for a support group that's the perfect blend of sex and self-care. Join us for some serious belly laughs and a healthy dose of sarcasm as we navigate the ups and downs of chronic illness together. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Dys Dyvas.
How do you live with him?
It's not easy. It's not easy.
He always makes me laugh.
Yeah. Well, welcome to our first official podcast after the intro. Yay.
Hello, Dys Diva.
Hello, Dys Dyvas.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
We know what our ultimate goal is. Should we share that on the first episode? Our ultimate goal is to have enough followers that we can actually book a Disney cruise, and we will have a Dys Dyvas cruise. So that's our
Dys
goal.
Divas does Disney.
That's right. Help us achieve our goal, people. Share. Dys Dyvas is not just for people with dysautonomia. It's for people who also have chronic illnesses and other autoimmune illnesses. These inevitably all overlap, some of them with dysautonomia, some of them without, but we will be sharing tidbits that will be helpful for everyone. So if you think this will help someone you love, someone you know, neighbor, friend, whatever, please share. We don't bite. At least in video.
Oh, that's a great first question. Be my guest.
I will toss this one to you, Stacy.
Oh my God, bitch. Oh my goodness. So for me, I have a really, really big issue because you and I both don't look disabled. You know, we both struggle and suffer from invisible illnesses. Dysautonomia is one of them. It's really hard for me when people don't understand how sick I am. And I've explained it to people. And when people still choose to be ignorant and just not understand why I can't just show up or why I can't call them back, you know, that to me is pretty disrespectful, and I'm kind of over it. What about you?
I feel the same way. I feel disrespected when the doctors don't take me seriously, when they tell me it's all in my head. There's nothing medically that correlates with your symptoms, but you're doing the fish on the table and they're like, oh, no, it's all in your head. That's very disrespectful to me. They don't take me seriously. If the medical profession doesn't have an answer for me, just tell me you don't know. Don't make me look like I'm crazy when I'm not. Maybe not, and not in this particular aspect anyway. I'm not crazy.
Did you have a breaking point that you decided I'm just over this shit? Like, was there a moment for you, one occasion that really broke the camel's back?
Yes. I waited a very long time to get an appointment with a clinic that I will call the Condiment Clinic. It's very famous across the country. And I had an appointment with this special neurologist who was supposed to be helpful with dysautonomia. And this gentleman, I literally had an EEG and I was being recorded. And I had an adrenaline dump that was pretty severe. Again, doing the fish shaking. And for anybody who doesn't understand what an adrenaline dump is, it's basically when we have hyperpods, our body is stuck in fight or flight mode. So our heart rate will go crazy, our blood pressure will go crazy, and we get these super adrenaline surges, and they just make us shake all over. So I'm having one of these while I'm being recorded, while I get the EEG stuff stuck on my head, to the point of where this nurse comes flying into the room, and she's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Is there anything I could do?" And I'm like, "I'll be okay. I just need my medication. It's in my purse. My husband has that." They wouldn't let him in the room, so I had to wait till they were finished with the test to go get my medication. And then this doctor who had more initials after his name than the alphabet is like, "Oh, you just need cognitive behavioral therapy. There's nothing wrong with you." That was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and kind of wanted me to break something on him too.
And I know you. I know. I mean, you don't take shit from anyone. I actually give you credit. I mean, we both know we're too pretty for prison, but I have to give you a lot of credit for restraining and not beating the shit out of him because I'm a baby dysautonomia person. You have been experiencing it for how long? How many years?
I think we tracked it back to at least 2009 because when
Yeah.
it started, we called them tremors, and that's what got me to the condiment clinic in the first place because nobody could understand what these tremors were, and they'd go on for hours. And I even had a nurse say to me, "Well, isn't that normal for you?" And I'm like, "Is it normal for you to have tremors for hours on end and not be able to explain it?" So yeah, it goes back to 2009 when I was working for a company in Montreal, and I flew up to Montreal for some training, software training, and it was also my birthday. So because it was my birthday, the Titanic exhibit was being shown in Montreal, and Tim was like, "Well, let me take you to the Titanic exhibit," which I was really excited about. So we go to see the Titanic exhibit, and they had a lot of special effects lighting and all the different artifacts, and you get a little card when you go on that tells you if you're going to survive or not at the end, so all that fun stuff. So we go through the exhibit, and as we're getting towards the end of the exhibit and we're heading for the escalator, things start getting a little wonky for me, and I was like, "Ooh," I felt off. My vision was a little off, and I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. And I'm like, "Well, let's just get back to the hotel." And we had to walk to the hotel. And while we're walking to the hotel on the main street in Montreal, it's like my vision was like doing this. And I was like, "Oh, what's going on? Something's not right." So I actually ended up in the emergency room in Montreal that night. And then I still went to work for training the next day.
I'm not surprised.
But it was just crazy. And they really didn't say anything. They said, "Well, you just flew up here. You probably got vertigo or something from the flight. Don't worry about it." And it really wasn't. No, looking back at the symptoms that I have now and matching it, that was the beginning of what I feel that starts at dysautonomia.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy, girl.
It has progressed significantly since then, but what was your first instinct that you had something wrong?
Um, it's funny you said 2009 because I just had a memory that I think probably stuffed far away from memories a long time ago. And I ended up in the ER. We were living in Omaha at the time, and we were going out for my daughter's birthday. And I just realized I couldn't speak. I couldn't write my name. I couldn't speak. They had to wheel me into the ER. I remember my ex-husband was there, and I think that was the first time I developed anything neurologically. And it's gotten like I was able to get better, and then I got worse, and then things started happening. And I think ever since the electric shock in 2022, I have not been able to get this shit under control. So it's like right now, it's either you learn to live with it and manage it, or you're just miserable. Just miserable.
We don't want to be.
Life's too short to be miserable.
Exactly. Let's see. We have another question. How do you feel that you are perceived by others since you became disabled? That's interesting because I feel like people who already knew me before I became disabled, I feel like their opinion of me changed because all of a sudden we weren't able to go to the movies or go out to dinner or just do fun, spontaneous things like we used to do. So I feel like people look at me in a different light now, like I'm special. And that's a little frustrating. And also a perfect example is like parking you getting a handicap placard and then parking in a handicap spot. And then when you get out, we look like we do. And people look at us and they're like, "You don't need that handicap placard." They don't understand. And that just infuriates me. That, or when you're in a wheelchair, especially at a convention, because we try to go to conventions like we used to, and I can't walk a convention floor because I would pass out and fall on my face. So my husband will push me around in a wheelchair. I've had people that will literally run to cut you off, get ahead of you. They have no respect. I've had people fall in my lap because they're not paying attention and they're just a little, having a little too much fun. But they just don't. They show very little respect, and that's sad. I mean, I don't choose to be in the wheelchair. I'm still me. I still live life the way I want to live life and have fun. So I expect people to show me the same respect. How about you?
Amen. I love that. I love that. Well, you know me, I'm still in the disabled closet. I'm still adjusting. I'm still adjusting to my new normal. I do have to say, the first time that I actually had to use a wheelchair in public, I was embarrassed. I really struggled with that. I actually felt guilty because I'm like, I've got two legs. I can stand on my two legs. But like you said, with POTS, it's like hyper POTS. You go right down the minute you stand up. So, and I was going on a plane and it was in the airport. But the first time using that in public, I felt really uncomfortable. I felt really, really uncomfortable. And right now with the Marcel, I'm pretty housebound. So I'm still navigating, the territory. That's for you.
Do you remember your first time using a wheelchair or scooter in public? Yes. I did feel embarrassed, and because I thought in my mind, I'm still like, I'm me. I'm the me that I was before I became disabled. So my mind is like, oh, we can do this. We don't need this chair. I don't need this. I don't need people staring at me and making comments. So yes, I was very embarrassed. And I always feel like people were glaring at me and making comments. And of course, that's all in my head. But you still feel that way because you're looking at everybody. Nobody's really paying attention, truthfully. But we're our own worst enemy. And I have also proven to myself that I do need to use assistive devices like these. The day I got the diagnosis from the doctor officially for dysautonomia, I was over on the coast of Florida by Clearwater Beach, and we were visiting with family at the time. And the doctor said, well, you have to understand your life is going to change. And my husband was like, well, what do you mean it's going to change? And he's like, well, you're not going to be able to go walk the theme parks. You're not going to be able to go walk convention floors unless you're in a wheelchair or a scooter and you're drinking lots of fluids and you're protected from the sun and you're in the shade and you monitor how much time you're outside and you can't be outside that long. And my head just went, and I was like, I looked at my husband and I go, he's full of crap. It's just being paranoid. So that very day, it was early in the morning, I decided that I didn't need to take his advice. We were out in the hot sun. We walked the beach. And literally like 6 hours later, I thought I was going to die. And I'm like, I guess he was right. I really do need to pay attention to this stuff.
Yeah.
Have you had a similar experience where you didn't think, where you thought your mind takes over, your super mind takes over, and you're like, I'm not disabled. I can do this. And then flip.
Oh, all the time, all the time. I still think I can go out there and teach a Zumba class, and like 30 seconds into it, I'm like, yeah, I'm still adjusting. I've got a long way to go with the dysautonomia, but I feel like right now, for the moment, I feel like I'm stable. Thank God. Because, with this disorder and everything else we got going on, our condition changes hourly. And I'm just happy that we have this platform to show other women that, we're just like them. Oh, yeah. Do you feel ashamed? So I have to tell you, I could not, last year was probably the most horrible year of my life. And I definitely would not have made it through without your advice and your friendship, seriously, and just being there. But, I couldn't shower. I couldn't even, we couldn't afford to get caregivers. And I actually had to use a shower chair for the first time. And the first time I used it, let me tell you, it truly was life-changing because I was able to shower. Like, I wasn't exhausted. I didn't have the high blood pressure. I didn't have the shortness of breath that I normally would. So after the shower chair, I was much better. The wheelchair, I'm still working on, but shower chair, I got acclimated to that. And I'm very grateful for the invention of the shower chair.
Maybe we'll get you some bling for your wheelchair. So, the whole diva thing.
That is true, but I'm staying away from that as long as possible because the thought of going in public right now, I'm like, nope. Nope.
But you need to get over that, though, because you need to learn that you can still live your life and not feel sheltered because of dysautonomia. Don't let it take your joy.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. I can't, when my mast cell is in a crisis, I can't be in public because someone's perfume can throw me into anaphylaxis. So it's like, when I'm in a higher crisis, I can't be in public right now. And people wear flipping gallons of perfume and don't even think
They don't.
what that little whiff could do.
Yeah, I put myself in the ER with the scent of, I broke a bottle of nail polish. Remember I told you we were talking, and next thing you know, she's like, why are you at the ER? Well, I broke a bottle of nail polish, and the scent just sent me right into a tizzy. I needed oxygen. I couldn't breathe, and it was just a whole mess.
Yeah, diesel fuel does it for me, as well as a bunch of other environmental shit, but you just never know. You just never know.
So people, we know you want to wear perfume. We appreciate it. We like the scents. However, just if you can tone it down just a little bit, we appreciate it.
So last Christmas, I was still able to fly at this point, and it was New Year's. It was actually New Year's Eve, and we went into a restaurant. And understand, my closest friends have never seen me react. You talk about the tremors. You and I know what they're like, and we have each other to support us through it. But none of my friends have ever seen me have a reaction. And a lady walks in with half a gallon of perfume on her. Luckily, we had just finished eating. And for an hour and a half, I refused to go to the ER. I had my EpiPen on me. I was a nurse. I knew what to do now. But she freaking almost could have killed me. And my best friend is like, don't you ever do that to me again. Because she had no idea. Because, again, we don't look sick. And she's like, how bad could it be? I'm like, you don't want to see.
I have no idea.
You don't want to see how bad it could be. But yeah, so lighten up the perfume, y'all.
Yeah.
For our mast cell people, our mast cell. We should be the masties. We got the potsies and the masties.
Right, the masties. Yeah, poor mast cell people, they've got it bad too. But that can be a catalyst for dysautonomia too, like so many other things.
Yeah, I like this. This was good. This was a good conversation about the disrespect and, maybe not being so ashamed anymore and just owning it and know that people aren't alone.
That's true. You're not alone. You got the Dys Dyvas to take you through all of your trials and tribulations. We'll make you laugh. We might make you cry. Sure. Either way, we're here for you. So please tune in. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. If you want to email us, dysdivas@gmail.com. And we'll see you on our next show.
And new episodes are dropping on Wednesdays, right?
Correct.
All right. Bye-bye, Diva.
Bye, Divas.